Thomas Fuller, 1710 to 1790, the enslaved mathematical genius of colonial America. Thomas Fuller, widely known as the Virginia Calculator, stands as one of the most compelling, and often overlooked, figures in early American history. His story reveals the extraordinary intellectual capacity that survived and even flourished under the brutal conditions of enslavement. Through sheer mental power, Fuller earned national attention for his astonishing mathematical abilities at a time when many doubted the intellectual potential of Africans. Before we dive into the main story, subscribe to our YouTube channel and click on the bell notification button for more interesting videos like this. Thomas Fuller was born in 1710 in West Africa, most likely in a region corresponding to modern-day Liberia. He belonged to a cultural environment where oral mathematics and mental calculation were common skills used in trade, agriculture, and daily life. At age 14, he was captured during warfare and sold to European traders, part of the devastating transatlantic slave trade. He arrived in colonial America and was purchased by Presley and Elizabeth Cox, who owned a plantation near Alexandria, Virginia. Despite never receiving Western schooling and being unable to read or write, the young Fuller possessed a mind of extraordinary precision. Thomas Fuller gained fame for his unmatched ability to perform complex arithmetic entirely in his head. He could multiply and divide extremely large numbers, provide accurate square root, perform time-based calculations involving minutes, seconds, and years, solve problems quicker than trained mathematicians with pen and paper. His talent was so exceptional that it became a talking point among scientists, politicians, and abolitionists. In September 1789, Fuller was visited by Benjamin Rush, a prominent American physician, signer of the Declaration of Independence, and leading abolitionist; Samuel Coates, a friend of Rush; Joseph Drayton, a merchant. They came specifically to test the abilities they had heard about. Test 1. Question: how many seconds are in a year and a half? Fuller's answer: 47,304,000 seconds. The visitors calculated the problem on paper and confirmed he was correct. Test 2. Question: how many seconds has a man lived who is 70 years, 17 days, and 12 hours old? Fuller's answer: 2,210,500,800 seconds. The visitors' own calculations differed at first, then Fuller told them, "You forget the leap years." When leap years were added, his answer proved exactly right. This exchange became one of the most cited examples of Fuller's intellectual brilliance. Fuller's remarkable abilities directly challenged racist beliefs of the time. His story was widely circulated among abolitionists in America and Britain as a demonstration of the intellectual equality of Africans. Benjamin Rush wrote, "Had Fuller been educated, he would have been a Newton or an Euler." This comparison to two of history's greatest mathematicians reveals the level of respect Fuller commanded. Accounts depict Fuller as humble, gentle and soft-spoken, deeply spiritual, possessing a photographic-like numerical memory. He reportedly saw numbers as patterns in relationships, rather than individual digits, an ability shared by modern prodigies known as savants. Fuller spent his entire life enslaved, working mostly on clearing land, farming, caring for livestock. His genius was used for plantation management tasks such as estimating harvests, calculating land areas, timing labor and crop cycles. Despite his brilliance, he was never freed during his lifetime. Fuller died in 1790, at the age of 80. Newspapers across the new United States published notices calling him an extraordinary calculator, an exceptional honor for an enslaved African at the time. His legacy lives on in discussions about African intellectual history, hidden genius in enslaved communities, the psychological and mathematical abilities of prodigies, challenges to 18th-century racial pseudoscience. Today, Thomas Fuller is recognized not just as an anomaly, but as a symbol of African brilliance surviving against the odds. Thomas Fuller represents Genius in the face of oppression, a challenge to racist ideologies of his era, a historical example of mental calculation talents comparable to world-class mathematicians, a testimony to the intellectual traditions carried by West Africans into the Americas. His story remains one of the most powerful demonstrations of natural talent flourishing even under the harshest circumstances. Want more stories like this? Hit subscribe so you don't miss any of our story, because it's just getting started.